Everyone, Flopsy Chef once again. Welcome back to my playthrough of Tropico 3 Absolute Power. I believe we are up to part 8 now, and the last campaign mission was quite long and ended up spanning 4 videos. So I will be carrying on with the. Oh, we seem to have a lot more missions popped up now, so we don't necessarily have to do the pilgrim one this time if we don't want to. But I will do it because I did kind of promise that I did do it, and I would do it in the last video. So we've got a 25-year term. So we need to get this is basically the other part of Tropico that we haven't already seen, where we get lots of tourists onto the island. No natural resources. The island of St. Pater is one of the poorest nations in the region. Faith has always been the only salvation for the island's inhabitants. Promising a new era of prosperity, you were able to overthrow the previous government and install yourself as president. Is tourism the answer to the island's economic crisis? Remember that the religious faction is very strong. You will have to make sure that they are happy to guarantee their support for the next elections. We need 150 tourists before 1975. So at least this one will end early, unlike the last one, which actually required us to. What was it? This one. We had to remain in power till 1980, so we should be aware of that and see, and that will tell us how long the mission is in the future. So here we go, Pilgrim Haven. I thought we were going to get lots of immigrants on this one, but I guess not. Welcome to the island of St. Pater. Your subjects hope that you will be a good and God-fearing Presidente, unlike your predecessor. The leader of the religious faction has assured me that the prayers of the people are with you. St. Pater, much like its inhabitants, is a humble island with little natural resources, but what we lack in raw materials is more than made up in our beautiful sandy beaches. Tourism is the key to the island's financial future. Okay, so we've got a tenement, we've got a construction office, we've got a teamster's office, and we've got corn farms that don't appear to be very poorly placed. I suppose it's not really a biggie though, because they're corn farms, so I'm guessing they will provide meals, so people just walk to them as they need them. So, Presidente, we are interested in investing in the island of St. Pater. However, I understand that you do not have a tourist dock. It is imperative that you build one. After all, you can't start a new tourist resort if there's no way for the tourists to arrive. I sent you $1,000 to help you. Emmanuel Ibanez, CEO of the Magnifico hotel chain. Magnifico. Well, they've kind of built a road down to this part of the region, which probably hints that they want you to build a touristy area along this beach. So we're going to have a little touristy strip here. You want to keep the tourists separate from your dock. So tourists are on this one where the sun is underneath the... okay. There we go. It's underneath the skyscraper one. Airport's really pricey. I suppose it's all good. Yeah, it's probably better to put it there actually. Speed the game up a bit now. So 150 tourists is no easy feat, to be honest, because you probably get about between 5 and 10 at any given time.
How does it feel being denied to reap the fruits of your labor? How is it possible that your sweat and tears are only
We've heard that one before.
oppressors?
Presidente should build at least 2 hotels. You need accommodations to attract tourists. The more accommodations you have, the more tourists will visit your island. Provided your tourism rating is high enough, having more tourists on the island will also increase the profits from attractions and entertainment building. Okay, hotel. I don't know what to say. Well, the way to bring this up was hold on, I'm just going to save the game and back out and see what the hotkey is, because just going to see what the hotkey is quickly, because last on-screen notification tab. Why isn't that working then? Okay, that wasn't supposed to happen. No, I don't want to turn on sticky keys. Okay, we'll try Alt. See where that ends up. Doesn't work. Brilliant. Yeah, I'll try again, shall I? Apologies for this. Put L this time. I'll put an actual letter rather than a function key. Seem to work. Doesn't matter what I do. It's broken. I'm sorry. Okay, so put the tourist thing on the back burner for now. We want to put 1 hotel down because we can afford to. Yep, I'm working on that. Trying to get the money flowing in. Probably the best way to place to build a tobacco farm. Right, put up to top speed anyway. So that's probably the biggest priority. Fuck the tourists for now. Not even gonna get any tourists anyway. I've had no tourists yet anyway, so there's no point rushing to finish it. Good job, you only need uneducated workers for that. The island of St. Pata was hit by a tropical storm sometime before your arrival. The people have gathered most of the wreckage so it can be reused for the construction of new buildings. What shall we use the materials for? So we can build wharfs to feed our citizens. Education is key for the future. I don't think somehow I will be taking care of this personally. Let's see, how many people we got? We already got one tenement, so I think we're alright for now. Yeah, that's a good idea. Didn't think that through actually, because now the fishermen, it's very hard to fit. Yeah, that's very nice, Echo 2 lot, thank you. I don't think it's possible to even put a fisherman's wharf here because that rock's blocking the way. Yes. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to eat into our little touristy area. Wow, this is literally all the beach space we have got. Because of our current financial situation, the USSR and the US have sent a one-time emergency aid totaling 5,000. We must ensure our economy stays on track by guaranteeing steady profits greater than the money we spend for building upkeeps and worker wages. Even if the finances of our country go below zero, you can still order constructions and issue edicts. However, if our debt increases to more than 10,000, the World Bank will forbid you to spend any money whatsoever. Might as well do it since it's free. I don't really care if it's in the touristy area, to be honest. We're not any tourists yet. Hotel's not quite finished. How's our tobacco farm doing? Good. I don't think we should need to access the rest of the island anyway, to be honest. President, if there are no accommodations such as a hotel or motel, no tourists will arrive on your island. When tourists do arrive, they will need something to do. This is where attractions come in. Build tourist attractions and entertainment builds to keep the tourists amused. If they have a good time on St. Pata, they will give your island a positive review and increase its tourism rating. Now let's have a quick look at that, shall we? We've got a steady flow of money at the moment. Tourists. Beach site is always good. It's nice and cheap to build, and the tourists love it. So it's always nice. And the zoo's quite expensive, to be honest. A village of natives that the tourists would love to see. I see the point of having a pool if you go order a tour office. It's a nice cheap way to cheap mimeographed handout guide keeps the upkeep costs reasonable. Luxurious 4-colour brochure doubles the upkeep and raises the service quality with 20%. So that's the tour's destination at a beautiful spot on the island. Place the flag again to change the destination. Oh, cool, that's cool. Should probably build our second hotel as well, because he said he wanted at least 2 hotels, didn't he? Ooh, we've got tourists. We've got some tourists now at last. 9 tourists arrived on the island, so that's 9 towards our 150 already. We're not doing too bad.
A high official reported missing last week was found with his mistress trying to leave the island. The resulting clash between the official's wife and his mistress left 7 bystanders injured. The official is reported missing again.
Yeah, there's all our Tropico tourists down there, look. Doris Lee, Caroline Grant, Dalton Grant, Brandon Jr., Ashanti, Martha, Maurice, Carson, Daria, and Alexi. Bloody hell, you make quite a good profit on them, don't you? Well, let's have the beach site finished now. Angelita Rodrigo, the local communist, has complained. Oh, we know about that. The housing conditions. And the USSR don't seem to like us anymore. Let's build our free government building. The diplomatic ministry is free. I need to build that near the road, to be honest. Wow, that's a very organised tobacco farm. Export price of beef has increased by 40%. It's good news for the ranchers. Probably good to have cattle. Probably good to have cattle then if the beef price has just gone up by and smoked beef's more expensive and it costs £2,000.
I am Wellington, and I want to share something that disturbs me deeply. On my way home, I saw a whole bunch of filthy shacks. These things are popping up everywhere, and people are definitely not happy about their housing. Even living in tenements is better than this.
Okay, so we're up to 21 tourists now. Let's keep ploughing money into our tourism. We should probably start looking after our citizens a bit now, and that's the thing about this game. You've got to keep juggling back and forth between doing the objective and keeping your citizens happy. Because look at all these shacks. There's just so many of them. Having a clinic right near to the tourists could be helpful as well. I'm not sure if the tourists can visit the clinic, but to be honest, I've never really looked into things like that. Never really looked into game mechanics like that. And a church is always good, especially seeing as I've been told that these people are God lovers. So let's look at the almanac. People, economy, politics. This is always, well, the militarists are very happy. That won't be for long though. The loyalists always want the childhood museum. Bad healthcare, that's insufficient. No high school, no churches. Yeah, I think we're meeting some of the demands, so let's just carry on.
recent survey among the population of Tropico has revealed that most of the citizens on the island are unhappy with their quality of life. We suspect that a statistical error is responsible for those flawed results.
I still never fails to make me laugh, to be honest.
Free Tropicans, I want to warn you. If you see big shiny things in the air, don't fear. Those are not UFOs, but simply the island's new balloon ride. The balloons may seem like a total waste of hot air, and yes...
Yeah, getting complained at about bad healthcare. Well, the USSR starting to send me foreign aid again. And we are up to 30 tourists now, so we've now already satisfied 20% of the requirement. So the tourists are ploughing in at steady number now. But it looks like the hotels are pretty full to capacity, so we might benefit from having a third hotel even. Leader of the religious faction has returned from a goodwill visit to the US. He was able to meet with fellow politicians and religious leaders. As a result, our relations with the US have increased by 10. In addition, the faithful American Catholics have sent us 5,000. It's nice of them. Should probably address the fact that we've got no high school workers in our churches. It's worth staffing it 4 times over. And we need our college graduates for the clinic. We're spending the money. Alright, let's get the cattle. I really need to start doing this at the start of each So I've recently found out that all these edicts are actually part of the DLC. They're actually if you actually just had the bog standard Tropico free game, you would not have these edicts. So this one's quite useful. It's a shame really, because the free houses and the shoot one Ito one are actually infinitely useful, and so is National Day. Okay, building permit, there we go. It makes the buildings more expensive, but it increases your score at the end because the Swiss bank account gets pumped full of money. It's just too bad we've missed it with some of the more expensive buildings that we've recently built.
This is Betty Boom with your daily ration of truth. Today's headline. Our double-dealing leader has boasted that Tropico improved its relations with the immoral United Slaves. I tell you, people, no good will come out of the cooperation with this superpower.
There's no point building mines because we haven't got any deposits.
The CIA is calling the shots in America, and if you ask me, they are to blame for the election of El Presidente.
I haven't really got any use for these farms, to be honest. It's quite hard to make money. I suppose our best bet is the cigar factory, but that's going to be quite expensive to keep staffed. Depends, is our tobacco farm actually producing now? Seems to be. Adamants of it. Yeah, we got a rebel. It didn't take long, did it? Need to get our diplomatic ministry finished quite quickly. As our tourist is going. About a quarter done. There we go. We've got some money rolling in now, so we can. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and speed up the building of buildings, because we don't seem to be having a good time with that. Come on. There we go. The militarist faction is worried that our army is quite small to defend Tropico. With the current population, we need at least 3 more soldiers.
If you ever considered joining the army, now is the time to make the decisive step. Uncle Pedro wants you.
Uncle Pedro. That's funny. We've got a nuclear program. $69,000. That is insane. I've never had problems with foreign invasions, to be honest. Got more tourists just dropping in now. 5, that brings us up to 42. Usually after a protest has taken place, somebody becomes a rebel, so the amount of people that become rebels usually take place after each protest. So after each protest, if you gain a total of $25,000 from tourism entertainment bills by the end of the scenario, you'll receive 300 score. Now he tells me. I forgot about entertainment buildings. Let's put a childhood museum in as well, because that will appease the loyalists. Okay, I should probably stop building. When's our next boat, Joe?